That was not discussed in the meeting today. Turkey is, of course, a NATO ally. Turkey has a special role when it comes to the Bosporus Straits, but this was not an issue in the meeting this morning. What we discussed this morning was the need to activate the defense plans. We made a decision to activate those plans, which enables to move forces more quickly to where they are needed, and also to agree a statement where we express a very strong condemnation of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and also announced that we were going to have a NATO summit, a virtual NATO summit tomorrow.
Wall Street Journal.
Dan Michaels, Wall Street Journal, thank you for the question. Could you talk a little bit more about the activation of the defense plans? What exactly does this change, and when was the last time this was done? Thank you.
These plans are plans we have developed over the years to make sure that we have plans in place to react to crisis like the crisis we are faced with now. And they are defensive plans, they are prudent plans, and they are plans that covers the whole east of our lines, from the Barents Sea down to the Mediterranean, and they give our military commanders some more authorities within politically defined guidelines and frameworks to deploy forces where they deem it needed, and that's exactly what we have agreed today. So these again are defensive plans, ensuring that we have forces at the sufficient readiness at the right place throughout Europe.
Have they ever been activated before?
So I don't know whether it's right for me to answer that question, because I don't know whether it has been made public before. So I only said that we activated them today.
Associated Press.
Hello, Mark Carlson, Associated Press. Is the NATO response force inside Ukraine right now?
No, there are no NATO combat troops, no troops, NATO troops at all inside Ukraine. We have made it clear that we don't have any plans and any intention of deploying NATO troops to Ukraine. What we have made clear is that we have already increased, and we are increasing the presence of NATO troops in the eastern part of the lines on NATO territory. Ukraine is a highly valued partner. We have supported Ukraine for many, many years. We helped them to build a more modern, capable armed force, military. We have helped them to train, equip, and in many different ways strengthen their armed forces. We help them with cyber defenses, NATO and NATO allies in different ways, but we don't have NATO troops in Ukraine, and we don't have any plans to send NATO troops into Ukraine. But we are there to protect and defend all NATO allies. So we support Ukraine. We provide absolute security guarantees for NATO allies, and we demonstrate that commitment by increasing the presence in the eastern part of the alliance.
We'll try to take a couple of questions online before we come back to the press.
So, to me, it sounds like NATO wants Ukraine to get taken over. How do you want Ukraine to be a part of NATO, but you don't want to help them? That doesn't make any sense. Somebody's compromised somewhere. There's something smells like old garbage in the kitchen. I mean, it's been in there for like 2-3 days extra. Why, and then why you gotta turn to the side, both sides, when you say it? He put his hands in the position as if he was coming from the back. We've been screwing them for years. Now we're gonna really screw them by not helping them. That doesn't make any sense. And now you have a second wave coming. That's what this is all about. Just so happened I opened up my phone and this suggested video was up with Lee the Cusser while I'm on my break, and I just happened to click on it. It was a live stream, but something's not right with that picture, folks. You don't want Ukraine to be a part of Russia, but then you don't want to help them. Sounds like you want them to get murdered, death, killed. What's the point? You don't like what Russia's doing, but then you don't want to help. So are you scared of Russia? Or are you purposely allowing them to take it over, okay, so that you could add another pretext for war, something bigger? That's why I said, folks, the worst is yet to come. And I believe they setting the situation up because it stinks. This really stinks. That doesn't make any sense. We're going to give them support, but we're not helping them. We're not putting boots on the ground, even though you know that Russia has a way bigger defense force than Ukraine. Or is it that bigger defense force that they're scared of all the way around, unless they got some type of other plan up their sleeve? But to be honest, though, the United States has some bombers and some planes that nobody will see coming. That's why I don't understand why we're not getting involved. I mean, I do base Bible, biblically, but on the other side, though, we got some weapons that I've done the research on our Air Force, and this thing could be over with the quickness. But for whatever reason, they're lowering their hand and not helping. But we do know it is prophetic, though. Israel will be fighting this Gog and Magog war by themselves. Because obviously, the United States won't be involved for one way or the other. But we won't be able to get involved. Because this is going to get worse, folks. So I just want to give you a little quick update on NATO. All that tough talk, too. What kind of friend is you? What kind of a friend is you? You stand there with me running your mouth, and then when the bully comes, you take off and run. And talking about, I got your back from 2 blocks away. Something stinks here, folks. Something stinks. And it's going to get worse, as I said before. It's going to get worse. China's already scoping out Taiwan in their air defense space. South Korea just got involved in sanctioning, throwing sanctions on Russia as well. So Russia and North Korea and a little fat boy, he got nukes. They gonna come together. China. So, man, the EU is already getting involved. Boris getting ready to send some folks over that way to help out. Japan. That's why I said, folks, this is a world war. Okay? When they commit and they say they won't end, it becomes a world war. Because the war has already started. Other wars are getting ready to get in it. Because it makes a lot of money. Deuces.